everybody. Hello. Hello, my name is Peter Herzog, and I work for Washington State Parks. And on behalf of the Washington State Parks and Recreation Commission, I want to welcome you all to beautiful Lake Sammamish State Park. I'm here, yes. I'm here with our director, Don Hawk. Raise your hand, Don. And our park manager, John Ernster, and our brand new commissioner, Sophia Dannenberg, for the State Parks and Recreation Commission. I want to take a moment here to recognize that we are in the ancestral territory of the Snoqualmie and the Muckleshoot people, the original stewards of these lands and waters, and the little red fish that we're here to celebrate here tonight. The Washington State Parks and Recreation Commission's vision for this park is a place for connection, connecting with nature, connecting with other cultures, and just connecting with each other. This evening, we're thrilled to be joining here and connecting with you all to celebrate the Little Red Fish, but not only the Little Red Fish, but also the Kokanee work group, the folks that have been working so tirelessly. They're thrifty, they're ingenious, they're crafty, and they're just hard workers that have been responsible for giving the Little Red Fish what it needs to survive, and we're really proud of them and want to thank them now. So my part here is over, but I want to now introduce Jolene Williams, and she's a tribal council member from the Snoqualmie tribe. Please welcome her.
Thank you, Peter, for the warm welcome to the sacred land of Snoqualmie tribe in Muckleshoot. Chairman of Los Angeles sends his deepest apologies for not being able to be here today. We just want you to know that we are connected to this land and to this area, and the Little Red Fish is the reason why we're here today. And you know that Snoqualmie tribe has been here since time immemorial, and we have been on this joint venture with these Little Red Fish for a very, very long time. And today marks a day to allow us to be able to allow them to start a new journey in this area. And it's just a great honor to be here with each and every one of you today. And today we're going to send them off with great prayers to be able to combat this journey of life, which is a circle to all of us, right? And it's just a true blessing to know that the time and energy has been put into investing in such a species that needs rehabilitation, that needs growth, and that needs positive energy. And with that, we just want to thank you for being here today with us as we send these little red fish back out into the waters. And we hope to come back in 3 years to be able to celebrate their return into their full circle. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Williams, and thank you all for being here today. I want to, in particular, thank two of our King County council members who joined us tonight. Councilmember Kathy Lambert and Councilmember Claudia Balducci. And thanks to everyone for joining us on at this important milestone in our ongoing effort to really secure the survival of our native Kokanee salmon. Last year, I stood with many of you right up the way at Zacchaeus Creek as we announced our plan to implement recommendations of the Kokanee work group after a sudden, alarming decline in spawners returning to Lake Sammamish streams. Well, together, we are delivering on the commitments we have made. We kept these salmon that you will see tonight in a safe environment for longer this year. They're much bigger than the fish that we've released at celebrations over the years, and also provided more time for the temperature of the lake to cool and for more oxygen to be present in the lake. We're releasing at sunset, and that will help keep these fish away from non-native predators along the shoreline. And we're providing the Kokanee the best chance to survive. It's one of the many emergency and long-range actions that we'll take throughout the entire watershed, really from the Cascades all the way to Puget Sound as we help with other species that are in decline. We're doing that to protect and restore the natural environment, to fulfill our commitment to those who will come after us, to in some way attempt to live up to our obligation to the original inhabitants of this land, the people from whom this land was taken, and simply for the fish and the other species themselves, which have a right, after all of these eons, to survive. The work that we're doing here is what inspired me to run for public office. And I really feel that we have an obligation to use every available resource, all the power at our command to try to save a species important to our habitat and to our history. An obligation to the people of the Salish Sea, an obligation to our children and our great-great-great-grandchildren, and an obligation to the fish themselves. It's my pleasure to introduce to you the leader of one of our partner governments, the mayor of the city of Issaquah, Mayor Mary Lou Pauley.
Good early evening and welcome to Issaquah. We ordered up a great night for this Kokanee release. I'm really proud to stand here with all our partner organizations and celebrate this year's Kokanee release. As you heard, it's a little different. They're fish, not fry this year. But Kokanee has been an integral part of Issaquah's history and culture ever since native peoples of the region first established settlements along this lake and along the tributaries to the lake. Issaquah is really fortunate because we are the city that is the home to 2 of the 3 remaining creeks that receive late-run Kokanee returns for spawning, Lewis Creek and Laughing Jacobs Creek. When the Kokanee work group's phased approach to rescuing, restoring, and enhancing the Kokanee population, we know that there are other historical spawning grounds off the same lake that we want to reestablish, one of those being Issaquah Creek. And we're excited to partner with the other lake cities, the Snoqualmie Tribe, and Kokanee Work Group on this work to hopefully create the conditions for a viable and sustainable population. As the City of Issaquah's commitment to this process, we were fortunate enough in 2015 to be able to do a restoration project on Lewis Creek. The Lower Lewis Creek Habitat Restoration Project restored nearly 2,000 lineal feet of Lewis Creek at its entry into Lake Sammamish. The work included rock weirs, stream and bank stabilization, in-stream log habitat, and over 2,700 new plantings. And this year, we're really excited to partner with the City of Sammamish on the Laughing Jacobs Creek Basin Plan. This has the goal of identifying, prioritizing short and long-term actions to address water quality and habitat for the critical Kokanee spawning. I wanted to thank you all for letting us join in this event and share with you, and I'd also like to introduce you to Redmond City Council member Hank Myers.
Thank you. It was my honor to be here 10 years ago at the first release, and it was up on Wally's property then. I'm happy to be here and honored to be here for the 10th. This represents a regional and a volunteer effort that is typical of our Puget Sound ethic. I'm a member of the Raya 8 Salmon Recovery Council. My son is on the Puget Sound Salmon Recovery Council. He's actually Wally's beekeeper officially. But I have to say that what we're honoring today is not simply government action and government money, but the efforts of volunteers, including Wally and all of you who help raise salmon in fish in Issaquah. We have seen in Idlewood Creek in Redmond, we've actually seen Kokanee coming up into the stream. So far, they've only been tourists. We hope they stop and raise a family at some point. But this is an amazing project that over 10 years has increased exponentially in terms of the fish that are going back into the system. And I think another example is the Alaskan nonprofit salmon hatcheries that actually produce more fish than the state hatcheries. So I think this is a great mix of volunteer effort and government efforts as well to put together something that is truly unique in our area. So now I want to introduce Janice Zahn from the Bellevue City Council.
Well, I'm delighted to be here representing Bellevue. I think it's a beautiful day to celebrate the work that we've been doing around the Kokanee and our area. And I wanted to thank the volunteers that have spent more than a decade working in this effort around Kokanee in our region. Bellevue has participated in the Kokanee recovery since the 1990s. Over the years, Bellevue has protected the Upper Lewis Creek riparian area and also restored the headwaters wetlands at Lewis Creek Interpretive Center. So I hope that you get a chance to visit that area and see that the work that we're doing to protect our critical habitats. We've also focused on our lakes and streams in Bellevue, and we take pride in the fact that we spend a lot of effort in our stormwater management to make sure that we continue to protect the waters of our area. Not only does these efforts help protect downstream spawning, but it also keeps the streams cool in the summertime, which is very important. Environmental stewardship is an important value for the city of Bellevue, and we believe that it is what it takes to make sure that our city continues to be an attractive place for people to live, work, and play. So we want to ensure that Lake Sammamish continues to be a healthy place for fish and is a natural treasure in our region. So I'm really delighted to be here celebrating this occasion with you and looking forward to releasing our little red fish. And now I am delighted to introduce our next speaker, which is Krystal Elliot from Trout Unlimited. Thank you.
Trout Unlimited is honored to be part of this ceremony and to stand hand in hand with the Snoqualmie tribe and our KWG partners as we make this important step in our quest to save our beloved Kokanee. Simultaneously solemn, hopeful, and determined. That's how we feel tonight, and we imagine many of you feel the same way. We all wish we didn't have to be here. We wish we had a thriving and robust Kokanee population. But unfortunately, the opposite is the case, and desperate times require innovative measures. The extended release is a model for how we can harness the power of technology, using everything in our power to strive to save a species and a way of life for the native peoples of this land. The energy and camaraderie that has coalesced around the Kokanee cause is what inspires all of us to continue the critical work that we do. The Bellevue Issaquah chapter of Trout Unlimited is hard at work, as they have been for over a decade, with citizen science efforts, community outreach, and expanding efforts to increase the awareness of the plight of the Kokanee, including the upcoming Spawning Grounds film. Dave Kyle, TU's Kokanee Restoration Project Manager, is burning the midnight oil, cranking away on his portfolio of efforts, which include implementation of priority KWG habitat restoration projects, like Laughing Jacobs, with the feasibility study to be completed this winter, contributions to Kokanee supplementation efforts like spawning surveys, weirs, remote site incubators, extended rearing captive brood program, and gamete cryopreservation. Also helping to crack the code on the plummeting salmon survival in the Lake Sammamish systems through the Myxozoan eDNA study and other research on fish assemblage and disease. And last but certainly not least, coordinating outreach activities like this event, the upcoming Perch-a-thon, environmental education, Kids Fishing Day, Run for the Kokanee, and the list goes on. Being part of this community-powered effort to save the Kokanee and collaborating with the talented and dedicated members of the KWG is one of the most exciting programs that Trout Unlimited has the pleasure of being a part of. We are thrilled to have the chance to double down on this effort by expanding our role into stewardship of the Lake Sammamish Urban Wildlife Refuge Partnership. Carrying the torch for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife is a remarkable opportunity, and we feel incredibly honored to be entrusted with this important responsibility to synergize UWRP efforts and expand capacity. With staunch resolve, we look forward to putting our shoulder to all the crucial work ahead, and hopefully someday we'll look back fondly at this event and our other efforts as key contributions to a turning point, chapters in the story of the Kokanee, where a dedicated community came together to bring a beloved little red fish back from the brink. Thank you.
Thank you to all the speakers. Really appreciate it tonight. Next, we're going to have the Snoqualmie tribe lead a traditional song and some drumming for us as they load the first batch of kokanee onto their canoe, and we'll watch them head off into the sunset. And then immediately after, we'll load up the other boats to go out and release additional fish for some of the elected officials that are here tonight. Thank you.